All right, we are back. Dennis Gartman, Ken Hebner, and Peter Schiff. Dennis, I want to go back to a mustard seed here with the plunge in gasoline prices. Yeah. You see it in today's consumer price index. This is the third straight decline, minus 10% last 3 months, and it's only rising at 1% for the past 12 months. Now, Dennis, here's the gig. We're going to put it up on the screen. This is a big tax cut for consumers. It's a mustard seed. Real average weekly earnings are now beginning to rise. They're up over 2% in November. If I use the Labor Department's unemployment, the average hourly earnings, those were growing at 3.7% nominal. If you take 1% off of the CPI, suddenly they're up about 2.7%. Now, could this have been one of the reasons why we saw a little better core retail sales? And maybe people are just too darn pessimistic because they're not listening to my mustard seeds.
Well, I think this is a very good point that you make. I mean, this is really a huge tax cut for the American public. And what you also have to take into consideration, Larry, I find it fascinating that as gasoline prices have fallen by 75%, if you look last month, usage of gasoline, which you would expect to have gone up, is still down another 5% on top of it. It is as if the American public has said, you know what, I saw $4 gasoline, I've learned how to do with less, I am in fact using less. I think that's really important. So you have a double whammy. You've got an increase in income, you have a decrease in the cost, and you have people actually using less. The savings rate in the United States is about to go skyrocketing.
Well, I guess when you have no job, you don't use that much gas because you don't have to go back and forth to work anymore.
Well, Peter, that's not what's happened. I mean, unemployment is obviously rising, but it is not anywhere near what we saw in 1973 and 74, and it's not anywhere near what we saw in the 1930s. So come on now.
I think you're seeing a decline in the standard of living, and that's why people are consuming less.
But Peter Schiff, can I sell you a couple of mustard seeds that may grow into recovery trees, if only cyclically? I mean, the consumer price index coming down. It is following the retail gasoline and the energy. But you know what? It's across the board. I mean, the core CPI, take out food and energy, the core CPI has come down. At least on a cyclical basis, Peter, this is the kind of thing that the pessimists won't look at. It could promote a much stronger 2009, and the stock market will discount that ahead of time.
Not a chance, Larry. You know, I don't give a lot of weight to these government measures that purport to measure the effects of inflation, you know, in prices. They're all meaningless, I think. I think we've got to really look at what the Fed is doing with his balance sheet, with money supply, watch the exchange rate of the dollar, watch the price of gold. You want to know what's going on with inflation, don't look at these government numbers. And as I said, I do acknowledge that there have been some falling prices recently. This is temporary. And again, prices rise and fall as a result of inflation. So to see prices coming down and think, oh, there's no inflation. No, there's plenty of inflation. The forces are just being held at bay right now because other factors are stronger. But these are temporary factors.
On the way out, Ken Hebner, do you fear inflation, and what do you think about the possibility that the energy and retail gas tax cut could give us a more promising profits picture as well as a consumer picture?
For the next several years, there's not going to be an inflation problem. We are rapidly bringing the global economy to a level where there's a surplus globally of labor and raw materials, which no matter how much growth we have in 2010 and 2011, the pricing level globally is going to be in a downtrend.
And so that is the reason why you are staying away from the basic materials. Is that fair,
right,
Ken?
That's right. However, I want to point out, between 1870 and 1900, we had great global growth and a declining price level. Let's not get deflation and growth confused.
That's because we had sound money back then. We were at a gold standard.
Hang on. We're going to come back, gentlemen. Please stay where we are. We have more work to do, and I want to talk about some of the sectors that rallied today on the Bernanke announcement. Coming up, it looks like SEC Chairman Christopher Cox has awakened from his deep sleep. He may have been listening to our own Charlie Gasparino, as we all must. Charlie has the latest on the Madoff scandal when CNBC Reports continues. Stay with us. Christopher Cox, back from the dead. I'm Larry Kudlow. We'll be back after this.